Welcome back, Wolfpack Verlis here, and this is how to use Manectric and Mega Manectric. We're just going to look at Mega Manectric on the stats, and this Pokemon is just your most simple form of a sweeper ever. Huge amount of speed, huge amount of special attack or attack, depending on which kind of Pokemon it is, and that just shows it. You know, you're going to want to outspeed, you're going to want to score some monstrous KOs, and you're not worried about getting hit because you're really fast, and if you do get hit, bad things happen. Fortunately, Mega Manectric, it is a Mega, so it did get a nice little boost to its defenses, so its survivability does go up a bit, which does kind of work out, because normally sweepers, they're, if I get hit, I die kind of things, and Manectric does get a little bit of durability, so it becomes more of a threat, while also having an absurd amount of speed and special attack, one of the faster Pokemon in the game. If you invest it Timid, it gets very scary. Looking at its typing, it's an electric type. Electric types are really strong, like just because I didn't put them on my top 10 or top 5 best typings, doesn't really mean that the typing's bad, that you only have 1 weakness to ground, 3 resistances, and it works out really well. Also, if you're regular Manectric, you're going to have Lightning Rod, so technically it's an electric immunity as well, but mostly if it's Mega Manectric, it's just going to have this as it. Now, the main problem that electric types face is that they don't have great coverage, that they're just going to have like Thunderbolt, and maybe one other coverage move, and maybe Simple Beam, or not Signal Beam, and that's about it. So if we hop into Pokemon Showdown, we kind of get to see what the Pokemon's like. I just want to show off Manectric really quick for its stats, that Mega Manectric got a really interesting boost, that it was 20 to defense, 30 for special attack, 20 to special defense, and 30 for speed, and that just kind of explains what happened. Now we can also look at the abilities. You pretty much just want to go with that Lightning Rod ability. It also does have minus, but that doesn't really combo into too much, because it does work with, what is it, Ion Deluge? I think that's the, no, Magnetic Flux. I think, it's an illegal move, but Magnetic Flux does combo with minus and plus abilities. I just don't see it on Manectric because it's not tanky enough as a Pokemon, but it is something to kind of note. So if we look at Mega Manectric, it has the Intimidate ability. It's going to lower your opponent's attack, which actually makes it more durable against like earthquakes and stuff, depending on like the Pokemon it's throwing out. Okay, I learned something today. So I just have a regular Mega Manectric up on this right now, and if you look at it, you know, after that -1, Earthquake doesn't have a KO potential on an Adamant, like, no-itemed Garchomp, so we're just saying, like, Adamant Scarf Garchomp, for example, using Earthquake. After the, Intimidate, you know, it actually doesn't have enough damage to knock out Manectric, which is kind of what I was hinting at. I just didn't know if it was true or not, but what do you know? So we go back to Manectric, you know, this actually works out really well, and then pretty much your main moveset is going to be Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Hidden Power, preferably Ice. It's really hard to get a hold of Ice, though. You know, you have to know Hidden Power mechanics and stuff, which is why I don't put Hidden Power on my moves too much. So it's kind of like take what you can get, but pretty much Manectric is just going to be Thunderbolt and Flamethrower. That Flamethrower is really awesome coverage to add to this Pokemon, because now it can actually work against Pokemon, like Steel-type Pokemon really well, and it's really nice to have, but pretty much it just shows like the weakness of electric type Pokemon. Thunderbolt, Flamethrower. If you don't have a good Hidden Power and you don't want to worry about it, you also have Signal Beam. Just helps out against Darks, and you know, I'd rather be using Flamethrower for Grass. So it just gives you that one little extra coverage. And then Volt Switch. Every Manectric in singles pretty much should be running Volt Switch. Free damage, and it's a lot of damage, really fast, and you're good to go. Also, instead of Flamethrower, you might see Overheat. Overheat is going to make it to where it does more damage, but it lowers your special attack by 2 points, but then you just generally Volt Switch out, and you make up for it. Now, the accuracy is a little bit of concern, but it's kind of like a monstrous hit that you can get out. I don't really think Overheat is too incredible for the most part, since you're already just going to look for that super effective hit KO, and you might as well try to stay in afterwards. It's for that more tricky kind of Manectric setup. If we kind of look at it for doubles, you're going to want to run the same ideas, but instead of Thunderbolt, you can choose Discharge, and you should have Protect. So it depends, like, and also in doubles, you're not looking to switch too much, so then you'll have Flamethrower, and then you'll have your Hidden Power, whatever. So when we look at also what Manectric does in doubles, since it's going to be using Discharge, it's good to have Pokemon with Motor Drive, Lightning Rod, Volt Absorb. They combo out really well. Like, that's one thing that makes Manectric good, is that if you want to run regular Manectric, you can kind of run it in doubles as that is it a Mega or is it not kind of idea, because it still has the Lightning Rod, which means its special attack will be boosted. You can run Scarf Manectric next to a Discharge Pokemon, and then you can have like a lot of really good motor, well, not really Motor Drive, but just a lot of electricity bouncing around, doing some things, ground Pokemon, whatever. It still works out really well just to carry that, so it just kind of shows the options that Manectric and Mega Manectric can carry into doubles. Now the biggest thing we're looking at, what ability do you want to run? because a lot of people will go with that Timid. Since it's such a fast Pokemon, you just want to keep it at that speed and see what happens. Thunderbolt and Flamethrower makes you have really strong neutral hits, so you're looking to score some 2-hit KOs really reliably, or try to coverage out for those 1-hit KOs. That Volt Switch gives you a lot of options. Manectric's going to come in, Scout, get free damage, and because it has such a high natural special attack, you're going to do like half your opponent's health on a Volt Switch, switch into something that's going to resist or predict the hit, and then you still have all that speed, so Manectric stays really safe and tricky like that. If you don't want to be too tricky, you can also get a really high amount of damage out of it while still being very fast. Like 369, that's going to outspeed a lot. Let's see. So with the 135 base speed on that neutral, you're not going to be able to outspeed 120 base speed Pokemon, so that's why you just mostly see a lot of people going Timid, even though 369 is super fast. And I think that's all there is to cover. Like, Intimidate's really strong in doubles, you have a lot of comboing potential, etc, etc. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's how you use Mega Manectric.